Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to O.I.W. Inc. We want to talk about that trap that we know that has been created knowingly or unknowingly by the skincare industry.
God will help me. It might not be now, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next month, it might not be next year, but you will pay dearly.
Hey, it looks like we are all trapped.
Oh, no, I know you think I am crazy. You're wondering what I'm doing. It's a trap. I said it's a trap. We're all trapped. And you think I'm left behind? No, it's a trap and it has all of us caught right into it. And even though I am not regretting this, we have to find ways to go around this so that this trap will not hold us down as it is doing right now. Let me drop this and we'll get back into it. So yes, if you were wondering what I just did, I am also trapped, like I said, especially when it comes to that angle of hyperpigmentation, etc., on my face. Most of us are worried about this on all of our faces. And so, believe it or not, you find yourself slowly going into this trap, whether you like it or not. I'm not doing this video to step on any skincare company's toes, but hey, some feathers will be ruffled and some questions will also be asked. I'm mostly here for the answering and asking of questions. I want to know where we are getting it wrong, because man no go continue this way. You know what I mean? If you have ever started out on any skincare routine, anything whatsoever, you will believe with me that it is becoming a rat race. It is becoming something that every year you make a budget for, even though the economy is not smiling. Hey, before we go any further, I know this is a new background. I hope you're loving it as much as I am. Over the years on this channel, we have used very many different backgrounds. I hope I am in frame. See, so like I said, this is a new setup and we're trying a lot of things. If some things come on camera looking different, I apologize for it. This is going to probably be permanent for quite a while until we get something much better. While you are inside this whole cocoon trying to get to the max of your beauty, you keep going in circles and in loops, because day one you are doing so well, and then day two there's another rule altogether, and that rule comes to tell you that hey, you're not even doing anything. What you have done so far is good but not that good. And then you find another rule that you are yet to keep up with, and every day these things come out and you are just right in the middle of it, like we do here on this channel. Let's take it back a little bit. I like digging deep and going back and then coming from there to where we are right now. And this is not me trying to juxtapose what was going on at the 18th century and what we have as at today. So at that time, whatever this quest for beauty, whatever it offered was okay. And some of them we still use. For example, the milk bath, and then we know about the saunas. If you dig deep back in those times, you see mentions of things like egg yolk. In fact, for facial masks, yes, there were facial masks at that time. People were using berries, honey, oatmeal, facial berries, like I've said, cucumber, and these were used to soften the skin texture, to target some blemishes, to reduce, the anti-agings that we have today. And it's interesting to know that these things did not start today. So no, the craving to look good and to look better, especially on the feminine side, did not start today. I have to pin it to the 18th century, not because skincare started at that point, but because we started getting to know a lot more about skincare. The 18th was when mass production of some skincare items started. For example, there was the mass production of Vaseline. At this time, glycerin, presumed to be one of the oldest skincare ingredients, glycerin came into play much more than we know. And I know I have been sounding O.I.W, foreign, because when I say 18s and glycerin, we down here in Africa, in Nigeria, we never begin sabi wetin glycerin be. But then we had our own. We had things we were discovering at this time, things we were beginning to use for beauty solutions. For example, we had the popular leaf wrap. There were times when, even for medicinal purposes. There are leaves that you wrap around certain things like snake bites, scorpion bites, etc., etc., and it handles it, it sucks it in, or it neutralizes the venom. So also on the skincare section, there are leaves you will wrap on your face to reduce the itchiness that comes with acne, with eczema, and all of that. We had the palm oil from palm kernel. We know now that some of these things are not the best for our skins, but then they provided what they needed to provide. We have the manuake, and this is away from the red palm oil, because yes, some people use this red palm oil to, you know, go further down to develop it. You remember that when you extract palm oil from the palm kernel, Unumano, you know that the palm oil, the good one, is the oil we are meant to use. Forget these things they do in the market today. The oil that is meant for consumption is the liquid one that's is topmost, because that's the one that does not have a lot of cholesterol. And then the other one that settles down the bottle is the one you can now take to do your creams, your soaps, and all of that. You also get manuaki, the one that you extract from the palm kernel itself. I don't know how to, the ake itself. It depends on what your tribe calls this. In my tribe, the Igbo tribe, we call it the ake. So this ake now is taken to be for oil to be extracted from it, and that oil too had its own potency. Some people did a lot of abubeke at the time. If you go to other countries in Africa like Morocco, they don't joke with their snake oils, even as we talk of now. And I know some of these practices now go against animal cruelty. I don't know how they extract these oils, but there was abubeke at the time, and it was proven to be for beauty to some people who want succulent skin. There were so many other ones. For my Hausa tribe, I know there's lali, and as a child I also used this lali. There was nzu and uni. You know, we have the charcoal mix as at today. Yes, the charcoal mix and its whole potency was not just discovered 2 days ago. No, charcoal mix has always been. I know of charcoal mix that can be, like I said, most of these beauty things were also conjured into healing. So some people, you see them doing this charcoal mix over certain type of wound, but it will be done by special people called healers. Yes, and so you see these ones, they conjure these things and, you know, apply it on certain injuries. And then for beauty, I see it there, then nzu having some components of I think zinc or something like that. Write in the comment section, let me hear if you know, if you have heard how nzu was used back in the day for beauty, for medicine, and so many more things. I'm trying to break it down gently so that you will see that all things beauty did not start now. So when we say that we are always trying to look beautiful, trying to more, this thing did not start now. We know also the manuango, hey, honey. Honey has got to be one of the ones we all know about. Honey has been one of the things they will tell you, mix honey in this, mix honey in that, if you want this to happen. If you honey has been used, and rightfully used and wrongly used, by virtually every person, especially in this part of the world, because we know that honey has a lot of abilities. You know, we put it in virtually everything. And we remember the Oma, we know the Ori, and the potency of Ori is still today 100% guaranteed. Ori can go for the hair, Ori can go for massages. I think Sisiyemmi had a thing or two, I'm not sure, but I remember when she gave birth to her last child, there was some sort of massaging and some sort of elderly woman talk. I think her great grandmother came around to, you know, tell her some of these things. This is how you do it. In fact, interestingly, in that Sisiyemmi's video, we saw them using palm oil. Yes, it was to make the girl child's skin glow. I am bringing it to buttress the point that yes, back in the day, our women were also doing a thing or two as regards beauty. If I have to say this here also, some of the things they did back in the day, some of those things were not the best like we know now. but then it was okay for them at the time. I think I've mentioned lali. And this brings smiles to my face because lali is just a leaf. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but that's what we called it when we were growing up. Lali is just a leaf that you will put on your nails to paint your nails and change the color of your nails. I'm sure lali was used for so many more other things. See, if you leave me, I can keep remembering and remembering. Nzu is still here. People might probably still use the nzu for one thing or the other. Honey is still something most of us use, and there are some practices that we use as of today and some that we have dropped long ago. And while we're dropping these things, there were some other ones that started coming up. Remember, I mentioned the Vaseline being popularly mass produced, and I include Vaseline into beauty products because most of us grew up applying Vaseline. I remember our aunties in the night, they will come out looking all white on the face. To some of them, I know it never really did anything, but everybody had Shelly on there. Even women who did not have pimple, because Shelly was too targeted for pimple, right? And so even women who didn't have pimple had Shelly on their faces. And that was back in the day. Everybody wanted a bite of what was going on. But now, when you see this whole rat race of everybody wanting to attain the perfection, we should begin to know better, because we cannot follow trend sheepishly like we have followed it all through the years. Now we know better, and we have to begin to look into these things in ways that it will cater best for us. Because if you look at it, that rat race will never end. As the day goes by, scientists will come out with better innovations to get us to know that these things are the ones that are much better for us, while these ones are the ones we will be dropping on the side. Okay, let's take it down to Cleopatra. She was that queen that we know that she never, when it came to oils, especially the olive oil and the castor oil, this woman did not joke with it. Cleopatra has got to be one of the idolized women in history. She never joked with moisturizing with the oils and the purest forms of castor oil and the olive oil. And so what am I saying? Every woman has a right to want to feel beautiful. This particular need is now being exploited like every other thing we do, right? And that's the human nature. And so it is left for us begin to juxtapose what should be and what should not be. We have established the fact that skincare quest started back in the day. It started centuries and centuries ago. But unlike centuries ago, skincare is more attainable and more reachable in the world of today. In present time, once you have your money, you can achieve any form of beauty you want. You can buy into any type of aesthetic you want. And so I know at this point you're asking me, so if skincare has started long ago, where is the trap? Trap starts when this need begins to be exploited, like I just said. We know that when we talk about skincare, the main focus should be on the health of the skin, a healthy skin. A healthy skin is a beautiful skin. Most times we misconstrue this and we don't care for the health of the skin. And we just look at, hey, how do we do it to be beautiful? This also goes for people who follow trends. Today is the dewy skin trend. Tomorrow it's the flawless skin trend and the no texture skin trend. These headings that are naturally unattainable become what we most likely always look to as beauty standards when it comes to skincare. You hear people talking about the no pore, no texture, things like that, while we know that the human skin will always have texture and pore. You need your pore for vasodilation and vasoconstriction. And I say this because the skin is an organ. We forget this all the time. The skin is the largest organ on the human body because we often always associate it with beauty, but the skin is so much more. So on this premise, thankfully, modern scientists, dermatologists, estheticians have developed so many. They went to work, like we've taken ourselves back in time. We have some of these products now that are wonderfully and fearfully and beautifully made. And with the betterment of some of these products, the beauty industry gets widened. And when I say the beauty industry, please let me narrow it down, because the beauty industry is as enormous as you can think of. And so we are narrowing it down to the skin care industry. This industry has it has widened its mouth to suck up as much as it can, and the awareness is increasingly getting out there, and a lot of us are trapped in one corner of this whole charade. Trapped in the sense that you'll be wondering what is going on. Hey, I haven't done this. Hey, I have this. What can I use? What will I do this? How will I? Hey, I don't have money, because believe me, at the top of all of this is the amount of money that this whole thing sucks up, right? Because nothing goes for nothing. Yes, the skincare industry is such a blessing, and at the same time it's at the corner sucking us dry. And like I said, it's a trap. We are all in it. But there is something we also need to take note of. I think that helps to solve 80% of our problem. And yeah, let's take a look at this video before we continue.
Preteen skin, teen skin, it doesn't matter. The hormones are all the rage these days, okay? The most important thing you can do in this is establishing healthy habits, developing the foundations of your routine so they don't become difficult later in life when now you're like, oh gosh, I have to put on sunscreen every single day. Yes you do, and you've already been doing it for 10 years, so this shouldn't be new. Your skincare routine in this age group really should not be 15 steps long, and it also shouldn't be expensive. It's just finding a really good cleanser that works for your skin type and finding an SPF that you like and can use on the regular. Bottom line, establish healthy habits, make sure you're washing your face, make sure you're using sunscreen, and keep it really easy and really affordable.
Make that shit as affordable as you can, because like she said in that video, you will notice that skincare is something you're supposed to start out with early on in your life. And then because of the fact that we don't have so many well-known dermatologists here in Nigeria also, we tend to do a lot of over-the-counter purchases, and so we follow trends. We don't stick to what we have. We will know that a new product, we should know that a new product will always emerge. Some of the new ones coming out will do better than the ones that have always existed, because science has improved on it. So it's a continuous journey. So this is something you will spend a lifetime using. This is something you will span out the lifetime of your life using. So it's important that you stick to that routine that works for you, that will carry you through all the hormonal changes and dips that we experience as women while we age. Good nutrition, it's something we all don't talk about. You can't eat all the burgers in the world and tell me that using hyaluronic and vitamin C will make you the Bathsheba of our time. You have to find a way to be at peace with the fact that there will always be a trending product. As far as skincare, beauty product is concerned, there will always be one that is trending, and that one that is trending may not in any way cater to any of your needs whatsoever. To also know that the aim is not to fall into the perfect skin trap. It's also not to fall into the trap that you will never age. Although with Botox and the rest of them, with facelifts and all of that, you can near achieve that. If you have listened to all I've said in this video, you will hear me mention bellies, you will hear me mention oatmeal, milk baths, and so much more. You will believe with me that over the years, DIY has played its own great role when it comes to skincare. DIY when it comes to skincare is a huge spectrum. It has its own spectrum. There's the very negative side to it, and then there are sides that are positive and can be inculcated into our day-to-day skincare routines. I know of a lovely lady who uses Okoma, that's Ori, for her hair, for her skin, for massages, for targeted areas on her body. This lady I'm talking to you about, she's elderly and she is her skin is luscious as can be. She doesn't really care about every other thing as we do. I know she does her SPF, and that is just about that. Some of these balms that we've talked about over in this video, the balms like we do it here in Nigeria in our own African way, And if you discover the potency in Ori, trust me, you will never go back. As I'm talking to you, I don't joke with Ori. You cannot tell me nothing when it comes to DIYing. And so we've all seen that we are all trapped in this thing. In fact, when it comes to entering this trap, it's better you did not enter at all. Because once you start, we've gotten to know that some of these serums, hyaluronic serum, niacinamide serum, some of these serums, you find that once you start using them, you expose your skin so much more even before you started. And so you get trapped. You will always have to use SPF. You are in for it, you're in it for life. And this does not mean that you're trapped in a bad way. You are continuously going to use it. Your skin will of course look healthier because you're tendering to your skin the best way possible. Where there is a trap, there will be a key to set you free from the trap. And for want of time, I'll also list right. Please always put in consideration the differences between skin types. We have different skin types. That it works for your friend does not mean it will work for you. And hey, for me, the most important key of this whole thing we have said today is to seek to stick to creativity. Don't believe that DIY is bad for you. Not the one that you will now go and take lemon and squeeze it and put honey and do all those concoctions and go. It has to be healthy. It has to work. It has to have been proven to work for you over time and good for your skincare and good for your skin type. Sorry, there are some skin types that once you put raw egg on certain things, it suits that area. You see things begin to change. In fact, to support this, there's this story. We all know Patricia Bright. There was this story she, took us through. The struggles, the skin type of her second daughter. That story opened my eyes in so many ways. And to crown it, what she did at the end of the day was just a simple home. She called it mother instinct, but it was her bringing her creative side into the whole of the mess that was going on because she had tried everything at that point. What she did was just normal home DIY. She introduced Vaseline, yes, petroleum jelly. And I remember when you give birth to a child, one of the first things that nurses will ask you to pack in your that maternity bag that you pack, that hospital bag, Vaseline has got to be one of it. There's an in-between for all of this. There's an in-between for the DIYing. There's an in-between for the normal products that we are using. The important thing is that you find your own in-between and then you stick to it. Especially because we see some of these products today, they are telling you, hey, you have to use triacinamide to treat acne. Tomorrow they are telling you if you are not putting vitamin C, you are wrong. Then next tomorrow they are telling, how do you expect us to keep up with all these things and still maintain a normal lifestyle as normal human being? Oatmeal is still oatmeal from the 1800s till today. Taking goat meal baths is still what it is from the 1800s till today. Nobody is telling you goat milk bath, put salt, don't put salt, do this, don't do that. The rules and regulations, they are just too much and they become suffocating at some point because you have your kids to cater to, you have the increasing inflation to cater for, to think about, you have the health section to think about, you have so many other things, and you're here trying to tell me niacinamide, not niacinamide, when hyaluronic, what's that? You have to juxtapose everything, all the information out there. Some might suit you, some might not. Find that part which is yours. We are all created different for a reason. If we all follow sheepishly one angle, then what's the fun in that? If we all follow sheepishly, that's why one thing about trend, that's why trend has got to be one of the worst things that has happened to mankind. We all follow something sheepishly, and at the end of the day, we all get different results, and that does not suit us in so many ways, and we all revert back to square one. When you can mix and match what suits you and follow your path. I think I've talked a lot on this. If there's any other thing I haven't talked on, please find it in the comment section. Thank you so much for coming with me on this one. The whole shebang. Like, subscribe, until the next one, stay blessed.